Welcome to the Couch Scouts podcast. We provide league-winning analysis, advice, and tools to help you dominate your league and build a dynasty. Scout, draft, win. Here's your host, Matt Cooper.
Hello, and welcome to episode 111 of the Couch Scouts podcast. I am your host, Matt Jackson. Cooper currently had some other engagements. He's not able to join us. But with me, I've got my co-host, as always, Matt Rupert. Man, Rupert, how are you doing? How's the week treating you?
Going good, brother. Had a great weekend. Got to go do some fun stuff with the family in the mountains this weekend. Have a Polar Express experience on a train through the Smokies, and then got some hiking in. So it's definitely made us getting back into the swing of things at work this week, and we're about to start the rookie grind here. So it's definitely made the week a lot sweeter. How about you?
You know, man, it's been good. It's been busy. Around our church right now, it's Thanksgiving season, Christmas season is coming up, and there's just so much to do. And as you mentioned, rookie grind's right around the corner, and that is our baby. That's our bread and butter. That's where we make the money at, man. So it's been full speed ahead trying to get that ready. I have been a little jealous about all the pictures you guys are posting of the mountains and the views that you guys are getting. I'm like, man, I want to go on vacation, but thankfully, my wife and I are going on a marriage retreat this weekend with our church. So it's going to be a good time just to get away and enjoy company together.
Yeah, that would be great.
So anyways, that's not what we're going to talk about tonight. We are going to continue this little, I guess, if you want to call it a series. I don't really know if it's a series, but it's our reactions to another week of football, man. I can't believe we are already past week 11 of the NFL season. Man, I'm a little sad, to be honest with you, Rupert. Like the football season is kind of speeding by, and I'm not a fan of it.
Just like this a whole year, like my wife and I have been talking all the time. It's like, how's this year been by far the fastest year of our entire lives? And it seems like this football season has been like the fastest season that I feel like I've experienced already through 11 weeks is insane to me.
No, it's to think that we were texting each other in our group chat like, hey, this is our last podcast before rookie grind. I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Right.
Surely not.
Not at all.
But we are going to break down week 11, just reaction stuff that we've noticed throughout this last week of football. It's going to feature a lot of kind of disappointing performances a little bit, if you want to call it that. So we're going to talk about all that, and then we're actually going to take a minute and play a little game of hype and gripe. So we got some things that have made us excited up until this point in the fantasy season, and some stuff that we wish didn't go the way that they've gone so far. So let's get right on into it. First question I have is, man, about that Sean Tucker breakout for the Buccaneers. Man, what a high-scoring game that was, by the way. I felt like they were back and forth all game. But, I mean, Sean Tucker absolutely busted out. Again, over 100 rushing yards. He had a couple of touchdowns on the ground. So the question, I'm going to throw it to you. Are you ready to predict when the next Sean Tucker legacy game is going to occur in 2026?
Anytime Bucky Irving's out, I mean, it's good to be right on him, although it's 2 years late. Like I thought he had really good acceleration and explosion for his size, and that really showed up when I watched the tape this weekend. To me, like, he adds a nice element that Rachaad White doesn't. Rachaad White, good professional, great pass protection. But if Bucky's not on the field, they're definitely missing some juice that Sean Tucker can provide that Rachaad White just can't. So I hope it can be a situation where anytime that, Bucky is not on the field, that we can rely on Sean Tucker for some good fantasy performances, because the Lord knows I got many shares sitting on taxi squads and on the bench.
I was just mad. I left him on the bench in a league where I was like, I already had some injuries and some buys, and like I could have started him and it would have made sense for me, but I didn't. I went with, I think Trey Tucker is who I ended up playing instead of him, which, obviously in hindsight doesn't look good because he went off. But man, I was sitting there that entire game going, why didn't you play Sean Tucker, you freaking idiot? But yeah, man, I mean, this This elongated Bucky Irving injury, it's made my heart hurt a little bit just because I want to see him on the field so bad. But what's healed it was that Sean Tucker game, right? He's clearly a guy that we loved in college, and he's coming off a game where he got 21 touches, right? Like 21 touches is nothing to sneeze at, and he was doing something with those touches. Like you said, he was clearly the more explosive back on Sunday. He looked decisive. He was elusive in space, man. He provided a real jolt to that offense. And I'm not sure that you won't see something like this happen sooner rather than later. He's a better back, I think, than Rashad White is. And if Bucky White's going to be out for any extended period of time, I think you could see Sean Tucker come in and provide some nice fantasy upside.
Yeah, and honestly, like I think could we see a potential situation like Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery with the Bucks, with Sean Tucker kind of filling that Montgomery role and Bucky that Gibbs role? I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I think Sean Tucker's talented, so I think if that's the way they want to go and want to run the ball a lot more, Bucky is great. You can use him in space and be creative with them. You don't have to hand it to him 20 times a game. Although I wouldn't mind that, but he's a smaller back, so you
don't put that bad juju in there, man. I want Bucky to touch the ball 20 times a game.
Yeah. Oh, I want him to touch it, maybe not carry it 20 times a game. Yeah, so he's a smaller back. He's been injured, so I can totally see a world where they want to try and preserve him a little bit more, especially trying to make a playoff run.
I think that's a great example, right, of a system where that's worked really well in, and that they kind of have the same lightning and thunder, or thunder and lightning build to them. Sean Tucker was a little heavier, runs a little meaner, and Bucky Irvin's got the smaller frame. He's a pass catching back, so I think that could work out really well. So I'm excited to see maybe what happens in the future. I don't know what Rashad White's contract situation looks like, but I don't even know if he's going to be on the team too much longer. But it could be something that might be interested to see in the future. Our next question that we're going to move in, speaking of legacy games, I guess if you want to call it that, Michael Wilson exploded for the Cardinals for 15 receptions, 185 yards on a whopping 18 targets. Just insane. Part of that, Marvin Harrison Jr. was out for this game, but Wilson's been approaching some flex territory over the last month in his own right. So the question we have is, are we seeing him develop into something? And I'm going to go ahead and take this one first. I definitely think that this was a byproduct, right, of Jacoby Brissett completing 47 passes. Like, that's something that's a little unheard of, right? No quarterback is really going out there and completing 47 passes. I don't know if that's something that's going to happen every week. But what has been really
it's
cool
not. Spoiler. It's not.
What's been really cool to see though, like he has provided some value at least the last 3 weeks. He's getting a little bit more targets. I think he had 60 yards a couple weeks ago, and then he has 185 yards this game. He's still not somebody that I'm starting with like super confidence in a flex spot. I mean, I think with Marvin Harrison Jr. being out, that has something to do with all of that. But it was cool to watch, and I think if he keeps earning targets, I think Brissett has proven that he can run that offense. He's capable of doing that. So I'm not going to go out there and say that he's not going to be a flex option. But what do you think?
Yeah, I'm in alignment with you. I think it's definitely a byproduct of Brissett throwing the ball a ton of times and Marvin Harrison being out. It's not to say that I don't think he's talented. I actually think he flashed a bit as a rookie. Definitely caught my eye. He has solid athleticism, not spectacular. Really good size, big body, has a big catch radius. To me, he's a guy that I think kind of profiles as a really solid NFL number 2 wide receiver on the team, where he's more possession type player and complements, an alpha that's getting a bunch of targets. And I think that could be, a solid flex option going forward. It's definitely not someone that I would want to count on. Watching that game, I don't really think he did anything like spectacular. Like it was solid, but that's good. Like he's progressing. He's a young guy, so he could definitely turn into something that you could potentially start in the future as a wide receiver 2 or 3 on your team.
I think it's more likely this year, right? Because we've had so many injuries this year, so many guys that are elite starters go down with injury, then I think he's more of a flex option now than he would be in previous years or years in the future. So it's an interesting conversation now. I'm not sure that's sustainable, but we'll see, right? Next question that we have. Speaking of value, I guess, and we're not really sure where it's at. You got to talk about Calvin Ridley, right? And the question we have is, what is Calvin Ridley's fantasy value going into next season? Like he was, here's the information, right? He was already on a bad Titans team. Now he has this injury, right? That he's going to be sidelined for a period of time. He's going to be 31 by the time the 2026 season starts. Is he's the type of player that you just can't trade, and he's likely going to be more valuable on your roster? What are you doing with Calvin Ridley if you do have any shares? I'm going to throw it to you.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is just such a sad case of what could have been with him missing the time with the suspension for 2 years. And before that, he was one of the top wide receivers in the league, really great route runner, and it just hasn't really come to fruition the last couple of years. Agree, he was on a bad team, bad situation. I was having higher expectations, having a rookie quarterback, probably just using him as like a safety blanket, just funneling, 10 to 15 targets per game to him. And that hasn't even happened this year. So unfortunately, I don't think you could really get anything. I can't imagine anybody trading even a third or fourth round pick for him at this point. So yeah, he probably just stays on your roster.
No, he's one of those players, right, that you just have to hold until he retires. I feel like, I mean, you can't really get. He's not one of those like old vets like a Keenan Allen, right? That's still producing that you can still get something for. That's not the mold that he's in, right? He feels like that type of player that he's just kind of there, right? I mean, you look at some of the offense, like he was already on a rough offense, and he was already losing his job at wide receiver to the likes of like Alec Emanuel, right? And then you look at some of the tight ends that were even performing above him, like Chigo Konkwu and Gunnar Helm. Like those are all guys that were getting targets above him when he's supposed to be the alpha receiver on the team, right? Like, so I don't know if he's definitely not somebody I'm trading for. And yes, I would like to trade him off my roster, but like, who's going to give something for him? Like, I'm not even sure. You mentioned a third. I mean, would you even give a fourth for Calvin Ridley at this point? I mean, some of the
No.
guys that we got in the fourth round, this rookie class, in and of itself, right? Like, I would rather have all those guys above Calvin Ridley. And I know those picks are, those picks are a dart throw, if you want to call it. But if you've done your scouting, if you've done your homework, I think you can hit on somebody in the third and fourth round that's going to provide you more immediate value than Calvin Ridley will.
Yeah, I agree.
So, unfortunately, if you have Calvin Ridley on your roster, he's just kind of there. So, hate to break the news to you, but as somebody that has Calvin Ridley on one of my rosters, we saw this coming. If you've been paying any sort of attention the last few weeks, he's not somebody that you have on your roster if you're contending. So, next question. How are we feeling about this finally healthy 49ers offense? Man, it feels like it's taken forever. It feels like one guy was always hurt and they never really got to play together. But now you have the likes of Brock Purdy, CMC, George Kittle, Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings, all on the field at the same time. And that the offense, at least this week, Rupert was humming. So, how are you feeling if you have any parts of this team on your dynasty rosters? Are you excited about the direction they're heading? Are you excited about anybody specifically? I'm gonna throw it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a borderline miracle that the 49ers been able to survive all the injuries that they've had. And it seems like they go through this every year, right? Honestly, they need to, check on their strength and conditioning and, uh, their staff there to see what kind of changes maybe they need to make. But man, it's good that they're all back. For someone that has many shares among that offense, I have shares of Juwan Jennings, I have shares of Pearsall, I have shares of Kittle, I have shares of Purdy and CMC. Like I pretty much have everything on that offense, always somewhere on my roster. Make no bones about it. I'm a fan of the Shanahan offensive systems, so I really like the target players that end up there, and it's just really good to see, the band back together. Particularly, I love it for my Christian McCaffrey shares because he's been able to still produce when everyone's been able to really, dial in on him. And I'm hoping that he's going to take me down to a couple championship runs.
Yeah, somebody that I'm really excited for. You mentioned CMC. I'm excited about George Kittle. Right, the last 2 weeks he's been a tight end too in fantasy, and for somebody that had George Kittle earlier on in the season, and you were just kind of holding him on your IR spot, couldn't really do anything with him. It's nice to see him coming back in and having the performance that he's having. It's been really cool to see. I mean, he's somebody that if this offense keeps humming the way they are, that's a potential league winner right there, right? So I do need Brock Purdy to stay healthy. This is a little selfish, but I've got him in a few leagues where like, hey, I could use a QB to make a playoff run. And I was counting on Brock Purdy to be that QB2 type of player at the back end. And that those injuries, Mac Jones coming in. And speaking of Mac Jones, like is Mac Jones going to be the new Vikings quarterback? Are they going to pay $40 million a year for Mac Jones? That seems like something the Vikings are going to do. But we'll see. Um, but yes, need them all to stay healthy, man, because that offense has been absolutely killing it.
Yeah, I I saw a great tweet, and forgive me, I don't remember who it was, but I shared it in our Discord. But someone was like, the Vikings need to cut JJ McCarthy, label him as a bust, and then re-sign him for Kevin O'Connor to revive his career. One of the best tweets I've seen this week. Um, yeah, I yeah, I'm excited. I agree that Kittle could be a league winner down the stretch, and I'm happy because I have him in a league that Cooper and I co-own and should be contending.
Yeah, no, completely agree with that. That's a funny tweet, by the way. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so good.
So our last question before we take a little bit of a break, man, we have got to talk the Panthers. I don't know if finally put it together is the right term to use for them, but man, you want to talk about offenses were humming. We just talked about the 49ers, man. The Panthers offense was absolutely humming, especially through the air. Um, Kind of dared Bryce Young to beat him through the air, and he did. So we're gonna talk about that for a little bit. Specifically Tetairoa McMillan. He's had a few good games this season, but he officially had his quote unquote breakout game, if you want to call it that, against Atlanta. How do you think fantasy managers should view him going forward in light of this performance and then the performances he's had so far this season?
Yeah, I'm not sure what people are saying about his breakout performance. I feel like he's been doing it all year. Just so happens that Bryce Young actually threw for over 200 yards this week, so he had a little bit better numbers. But his like target share every week and uh, had tons of catches. I think he's been limited to touchdowns in just 2 games, but in both those games he had 2 touchdowns. So he's been doing it all year. He's looked great all year. What I will say is this week they're really moving him around a lot, and you saw on one of his touchdowns he was running an out route um, from the slot, and they were able to get the matchup against the linebacker. It's just like easy money touchdown. So I really liked what Canales and crew did to really move him around, not just leave him, on the perimeter at one spot. And he said after the game that they're going to be doing it more. So love to see that. And it also seemed to really help out the other receivers. Moving Ted around, got to move Leggett around, and he had a nice game. So it was really good to see. I mean, he's the real deal. He's wide receiver 9 on the season in fantasy production. I currently have him at wide receiver 10 in my dynasty rankings.
Yeah, I would like to say that this performance surprised me a little bit, but it didn't, right? Like we knew exactly who T Mac was coming out of college, and he's doing everything that we thought he was going to do, right? Like yeah, I'm with you. This isn't a game that you can really say was a breakout because he's the target share has been there. He's been doing this all season. So not surprised at all. He's the kind of alpha receiver that Bryce Young needed. We said it last season. Xavier Leggett was not ever going to be that alpha receiver guy, although he did look good this weekend. But T Mac he's the alpha receiver Bryce Young needs, and him throwing for 450 yards, right? That didn't that didn't hurt at all. For me, you mentioned wide receiver 9, like he's going to be a wide receiver 1 moving forward and in the years following. Like if you've got him, you've struck gold. So congratulations. Well, we're going to take a quick break real quick because I want to tell you guys about all the things available at Couch Scouts. We mentioned it earlier on in the season, but rookie grind is about to hit, man. This is our last podcast before we start the rookie grind, and it's never been a better time to get involved in the Couch Scouts community than it is right now. Um, for as little as a cup of coffee a month, you can get access to things like our rookie guide, which we're not people to really pat ourselves on the back all that much, but we're going to be talking about on our bonus show about some hits and misses. And I feel pretty good about a lot of our hits this season. Rupert and I were talking about off the season. So you can get all that information if you um, buy a membership and get access to that rookie guide. We're going to do a bonus podcast right after this. It's available every week. We have a one-on-one consultations where you can get in there and rate your dynasty roster, get some advice and actionable steps, especially with rookie drafts coming sooner than you may think. A lot of guys have really just been talking about the value that they have on their team. And all the money that we're getting right now really is getting poured back into the product. So we're trying to make this as good of a product for y'all as possible. We have a free Discord as well of just a ton of guys getting in there talking all the time, being a part of the community. Would love to have you guys in that. You can subscribe at www.couchscouts.com. Love to have you join that free Discord, and we look forward to dominating some leagues with you guys. Let's get into the second part of our show, and this part of our show we're calling Hyper Gripe. So in this section, we're gonna let loose a little bit. We're gonna talk about some things over the course of the season that we've been hype about, things that we've really had fun watching. It's been cool to see things that we're excited about and things that we have some problems with. This can be either from an NFL perspective or from a fantasy perspective. So we're going to get into our hypes first. And Rupert, why don't you go ahead and give me your first hype?
My hype is about the future of the tight end position. For years, it's just felt like it's either Travis Kelce, maybe Mark Andrews, and then just a bunch of you don't feel great about starting them week in and week out. Now we have Brock Bowers and Trey McBride just being monsters. Like they're just freaking incredible, especially in tight end premium leagues, week in and week out. Tyler Warren has really come on his rookie years, looks amazing. Loveland's come on as late. Oren Gadsden looks like a late round steal. Mason Taylor's showed some promising signs for the New York Jets if they can ever get a solid, competent passing game.
Which is a big if.
Yeah, big if, but yeah. Tucker Kraft looked awesome, and unfortunately towards ACL, so hopefully he can come back strong next year. But there's just a lot of, these are all really young, rookie, second year, third year players. Like these are guys that can really anchor your dynasty roster for many years to come. And there's more than just two of them. It seems like the future of the tight end position is in really good hands right now for fantasy.
It is. It used to be. I mean, I love that you made the point. It used to be kind of tight end 1, tight end 2, and then anybody you plugged in was potentially going to get you tight end 1 numbers. That's not the same anymore. I'm even excited for guys that we haven't really seen a lot of. We're going to get into one of those guys on the bonus show that we're calling a hit. That I think the sky's the limit for him as well. So I mean, it's an overflood of just a lot of great players at the position, and that's really good for the game of fantasy football and for the game of football as a whole. So that's a great call out. My hype that I'm going with is the explosion of Jackson Smith and Jigba for fantasy. It is just been it's been so great to watch. And as somebody that has JSN on several rosters, man, he has been an anchor piece to several of my contending teams right now. He's on pace right now to break Calvin Johnson's record of most receiving yards in the NFL. He's on pace to be the first player to score to catch over 2,000 yards in a season. Man, him and Sam Darnold, that connection has just been out of this world, and he's been so fun to watch. Like I knew we know he was good because we talked about him in the offseason. We're like, hey, this is a guy that your time is running out to potentially buy him. And now I'm not sure he's that attainable anymore, to be honest with you. So
No, time's up on that.
so it's just I've really enjoyed. That's been such a hype for me on several teams.
Yeah, I agree. Still remember your breakdown video of JSN many years ago, um, and we loved him coming out. Definition of always open kind of guy. So it's really been cool to see how he's developed every year. Just like every year, he's adding to that toolbox and getting better and better. So totally agree. It's been wonderful to watch.
All right, we're going to move forward to Gripe. So, this is something that you're like, man, I wish this would stop. I don't understand why this is happening. Give me your biggest gripe for the season so far. And I love the direction that you're going.
My biggest gripe is, I would say, injuries. It seems to ruin, fantasy seasons, like your actual team that you root for season every year. And I feel like every year we're like, oh, injuries are the worst they've ever been. It always seems like that. This year, it seems to really have affected a lot of stars. So it's made the fantasy landscape very tough this year. But I no one's going to convince me it's that having AstroTurf doesn't increase the amount of injuries that we see. You hear players complain all the time about not having real grass and complaining about playing on turf. It's not the same. They have more injuries. It's harder. Um, there, nothing's going to convince me that if every team switched to turf, we would see a little bit less injuries at least. And especially after seeing what Madrid did with their soccer field, in which they used, I don't know if people saw the tweet this week about their field that they used for soccer that the NFL used. It is a field that's stored underground in a greenhouse with automated mowers, irrigation, LED lights to promote growth, like crazy technology. NFL makes billions and billions of dollars. Why doesn't every single field have this?
They have
Um,
access. They have access to that technology, is what you're saying.
yeah, it is not out of the realm of possibility for them. So my gripe is get everyone on real turf and make it happen. Let's reduce some injuries, even if it's 5% less injuries. I will gladly take that.
Well, what was happening in the playoffs a couple years ago? You remember when they had that turf stuff and guys were like slipping around and had to change their cleats and nobody could get good footing. And like we
Yep.
were complaining then, like this has been a conversation that's been happening for a while.
Yep. 100%. What was your gripe?
So my biggest gripe, it's more of a fantasy gripe, but my gripe is the Raiders offensive line, um, killing the career of Ashton Genty, just such a talented right running back. Came in, he was, I mean, we were ready for him to light the world on fire. He was getting drafted almost in the first round of dynasty startups. Somebody that we were like, yeah, like he's going to come in and make just this lightning difference right away. By the way, I still think he's going to make a lightning difference, and skill level is not the problem right now. But you're looking at him right now, right? And his games, the last few games, like literally against Dallas, right? Last night, 1.2 yards per carry, right? That offense just getting bludgeoned by the Cowboys defense. 3.2 yards per carry, 3.2 yards per carry, 3.5, 3.3. Like, how many times are we seeing Ashton Genty get hit in the backfield? And like the big games that he's having is because he's having to do it all by himself. I know my biggest gripe is with the offensive line, just because I know that Genty is a great running back. I know who he is and I know who he can be. And I feel like that offense as a whole is killing what could be a really fun running back career to watch.
I couldn't agree more. The fact that that offensive line is so bad that if Ashton Genty, the guy that can make pretty much anything happen, make any guy miss, averaged 1.7 yards per carry last night, 6 carries for 7 yards. Like, I mean, he has no chance. He's getting hit in the backfield every single play. Geno Smith has no chance either. So teams know that they don't have to worry about Geno throwing the ball because he's going to get sacked every other pass play. So it's just disgusting to watch. Yeah, that Raiders team has been quite the disappointment this year.
I will say just for one more fun little thing, I've got another gripe as an Eagles fan, and it's Kevin Patullo. If you've seen any of the TikToks or videos that people are making about our offensive coordinator, like reading like a children's playbook, and that's how he calls plays. Like I saw a TikTok last night that was like literally, this is the Eagles playbook, right? Run up the middle, deep ball to AJ Brown, punt. Next drive, run up the middle, deep ball to AJ Brown, punt. It is so frustrating. I am one of the biggest Eagles fans that you'll find, and I went to bed early when they played on prime time because I was like, I can't with this offense anymore. I can't do it. So that's a fun little gripe just for somebody. I know it's embarrassment of the riches, right? We're still 8-2. Um, we're still winning games. So like, how much of a gripe do I really have? But it is infuriating me, Rupert.
That sounds like the Panthers offense the last, the Matt Rule era and, and Frank Wright era. Run, pass, run, pass. No
I just
creativity.
I just don't know how you expect to run an offense like that. I don't get it. And it's killing all the fantasy players that they need to be doing good. Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, it's killing them all. So,
Yep.
well, that about does it for our show, guys. We appreciate you tuning in, sticking it out with us as we talk reactions, gripes, stuff that we're excited about. We do hope to see you guys soon. We do want to let you know that we will not have a podcast next week. It is Thanksgiving, and we at CouchScouts got a lot to be thankful for. So we're going to spend some time with our families and spend some time being thankful for just all the crazy support and stuff that we've gotten over the last year. Don't you guys worry though, because we will be back the week after, first week of December, to talk all things rookies. Man, we are officially in rookie god season, and what a time to be alive. I don't know if you're ready, Rupert, to start staring at a screen for all of that film and going, I'm not sure if this guy's good or not because I've watched 600 hours of film. But we love it, right? We love it. So make sure you guys leave us a 5-star review, a rate review on whatever platform you listen to. It definitely helps people find our podcast, helps us get information out. If you have not joined our free Discord yet, make sure you guys get in on that. The link will be in the show notes. We love to just get to know you, get to know our listeners, people that are taking time to spend time with us. Make sure you guys get in there. We will see you guys.